What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today, I'm going to talk more in depth about the defense, about the addition of Tyrann Mathieu, about JJ coming back, Mercilus coming back, Clowney, and what could be a contract year, the addition of Aaron Colvin, the re-signing of Jonathan Joseph, all these other things, the whole bounce back year of Kevin Johnson. I just got through watching Honey Badger's press conference. A word he used quite frequently in that press conference was hungry. Speaking from himself and speaking for the defense in whole. And it got me thinking more and more about this defense. We all know the struggles that this defense was actually dead last in points allowed last year. It was, I think, like less than 100 yards away from giving up the most yards it gave up in franchise history, because the worst yardage was in 2010. And I think it was like less than 100 yards away from tying that record of the most yards given up in franchise history. But we all know the ins and outs. We know Vrabel was the defensive coordinator. We know JJ was out, Mercilus was out, Covington was out, Cushion was suspended / out. AJ Bouye at Jaguar, the dip and play in Kareem Jackson and Jonathan Joseph and Kevin Johnson. We know all these things, and there's no reason to continue to be a dead horse. That's one of the reasons why I wanted us to go after Tremaine Johnson. And EJ Gaines. EJ Gaines, as of the recording of this video, EJ Gaines is still available. Hopefully, we can make him an addition to this team, and then I'll feel even much better about this defense. But he kept on using the word hungry and saying they asked him about the contract, and he kept on reiterating that he wants to prove he's the best safety. And that's probably the main reason why he took a 1-year deal, because he wants to bet on himself. And that's why I've said that as soon as I found out that he was signed, he was only going to be here for one year deal rather. I knew that we're going to get the best. We're going to get the absolute best of Tyrann Mathieu. Like I said, it works both ways, because even if he's not the same player no more, we only got to deal with it for a year, and we don't have to resign him. But if he is an all-pro caliber player, like I said last night in the roundtable, if in 8 games and he's looking like he's transitioning and trajecting to be an all-pro, go ahead and ink him then. Go ahead, sign him so he won't touch the market, so you don't have to use a franchise tag or anything like that. Go ahead and try to work out a long-term deal, because I think he wants to stay here. I completely believe that he wants to stay here and he wants to be a Houston Texan. People said that I calmed down on Gaines and that I swallowed my pride. No. I still think the Gaines is weak and soft. I really do. He hasn't proved otherwise. Like I said, this deal is majority of Honey Badger want to be close home to New Orleans, and JJ Watt. He said that he hasn't even met Bill O'Brien or Cornell or Brian Gaines until Sunday when he came to Houston for the first time. Sunday night. That's the first time he met those guys. That's the first time he met your head coach, your defensive coordinator, and your general manager. And you already signed you already agreed to the deal, and you coming to Houston to come sign the deal. And that's the first time you met them. You didn't go on no trips, no dinners, no nothing, no conversation with them. Come on, really? But he said him and JJ had plenty of conversations. Him and JJ share the same agent. Him and Colvin work out together a lot. And that's another thing. Like, the tweet, he sent out a tweet to Colvin saying, "Let's get it." Colvin's like, "What they gonna do with us, bruh?" And he, favored it. Deshaun Watson said, you see what's going on, man. We have what we have is going down in the H." Stuff like that. It reminds me of last year when Bouye first signed to Jacksonville. Him and Ramsey were going back and forth on Twitter, and he said, "Man, let's stop talking. I'm through with this talking. Let's go out there and show them." That's what that remind me of when I was seeing those tweets. That they got something they want to prove, and that's the worst thing, to have a guy backed up into a corner. Because when you have a guy backed up into a corner, you're going to get the absolute best. When a guy has to prove something, you either pressure bust a pipe or make a diamond. So, and I believe that these guys, I mean, because you have guys with the capability of becoming all pros. I legitimately think that this team gonna have three defensive players that will be all pros. I think Honey Badger, Mercilus, and Clowney. I hope if Watt plays 80% or 60% of the 20 sack JJ Watt, you're doing damn good. I mean, I don't know, but one thing about JJ Watt, even though we all majority of people don't believe that JJ is going to be the same JJ, but he still commands respect when it comes to the opposing team and the offensive coordinator and offense. Because those games he was playing, JJ was still being double teamed and triple teamed and chipped and ran to the opposite side, because the way the offensive coordinator is going to scheme his offense is that if if Mercilus beats me and gets a sack and gets home, get a sack, if McKinney gets a sack, if Covington does something, if Zach Cunningham, Dylan Cole do something, if Clowney does something, I can't grit my teeth, but I can live with that. I cannot live with letting JJ run wide open, be free, and cause havoc. Because if he's the one that caused havoc, the first thing in film session, when they looking back at film, why do we leave JJ one-on-one? Why do we leave JJ open? So they're going to make sure that, because JJ has the biggest name, they're going to definitely make sure that they can clamor home on JJ. They don't want JJ to beat them. They're going to do whatever they can for JJ not to beat them. And like I said, even though JJ, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, All-Pro 20 sack seasons, Clowney, All-Pro, first number 1 overall pick, probably about to get paid, that pass rush starts and begins. It starts and ends with a Mercilus. Mercilus starts and ends that pass rush. Like that touchdown that Clowney had, that fumble return for a touchdown on Tom Brady, who made the sack? Mercilus. Mercilus has, I think, like 7 sacks in the playoffs. I know he had 3 against Kansas City, 2 against Oakland, 2 against Tom Brady. So that's 7, yeah. So within the past 2 years, the last 2 playoff stints in 3 games, he's had 7 sacks in the playoffs. 7. Not last year, but the year before in 15, when Mercilus, when JJ had 17 sacks, Mercilus had 12.5. It was Defensive Player of the Month in the month of December. The dude is legit. He was All-Pro last year, and then this past season, he was hurt. The dude is legit. He was second-team All-Pro. And I believe he can be, at the very least, that, again, a second-team All-Pro. And I think that both Clowney and, because Clowney's the biggest name, and I see Clowney getting multiple sacks, double-digit sacks, and being the sack leader of the team. Clowney and Honey Badger, I think they're going to be definitely All-Pros. Colvin has something to prove, because, like Honey Badger was saying, like in his one-on-one interview, that Colvin wants to prove he can play outside. Now, I don't know if Colvin can play outside. I mean, my boy Ray and Duck and Wink, all 3 of them tell me that Colvin can't play outside. So I don't know. Duck Scout say he can't play outside. Ray say he couldn't play outside. Wink say he can't play outside. I don't know. They said that he used to get torched in Jacksonville when we had Brian Hoyer. So that could be very, very much true, that he can't play outside. But maybe with this defense and with Rat coordinating, where everybody keep telling me, Rat coming back and coordinating this and this and that, that possibly. Now what you got on the back end, you got Honey Badger. Maybe he can play outside. But I do think he's more suitable to play in the slot. And you're going to have Jonathan Joseph and Kevin Johnson on the outside. And that's the issue. And for people who keep talking about Kareem, I'm sad to say, but 25 is going to be out there again. Unless they bring in EJ Gaines. If they bring in EJ Gaines, 25 probably will get cut. But I don't think 25 going to get. I don't think Kareem Jackson going to get cut, just because as soon as I seen that they re-signed Jonathan Joseph, I'm like, oh, Kareem Jackson staying. Kareem going to stay, because I see them as a package deal. I see Kareem Jackson and Jonathan Joseph together. Like they come and go as a package deal. They are a tandem. They are the the corner tandem. Another thing that Honey Badger was, he kept on talking about Deshaun Watson and Hopkins. Even though he didn't really mention Hopkins too much by name, but he mentioned the guys he mostly mentioned by name was Mercilus, Clowney, Watt, Romeo Cornell, Deshaun Watson, Colvin, the guys that he mentioned by name. Everybody else was head coach, guys on offense, other guys in the secondary. He might have said their name once, but those guys that I just named, he said their names multiple times. Not to mention, he kept on referring back to being down south and being in near the city of Houston. You know, he lived in Humble, Texas for a couple months after Hurricane Katrina when he was like 15 years old. That's another thing, his age. He's only 25. Now he'll be 26 when May start. He's extremely young. Colvin, 26. EJ Gaines, if they can get him, 26. That's an extremely young secondary. Don't sleep on the coup, who we drafted last year. Was watching some film on him, and I liked him coming out of college. Like, when we drafted him, I liked him. I said, okay, he's nice, he's cool. I wish we would got a chance to see more of him, especially once the injuries started happening, and once, you know, we were down the stretch and we knew we weren't going to make the playoffs. So he should have got some starts just to be out there. I mean, even if he was out there getting torched, even if he was out there just getting completely torched away, it wasn't going to hurt you none. Because we were already out of the playoff race. Like, once we lost to Baltimore on Monday night, it was evident that we weren't going to the playoffs. Like, that ship sunk, sailed, and went bye-bye. So he should have been the next game. The next game was against Tennessee. He should have started the very next game. Well, that was a short week because it was Monday night, so they did miss a day of practice. So the game after that, it might have been the 49ers game. He should have started then. He should have been the starter and should start the rest of the season. Get his feet wet. Both Wink and Doug think that Doug Scout think that he's going to beat out Kevin Johnson during training camp. I hope so. That way I ain't got to buy no Kevin Johnson jersey. That way I ain't got to buy no because that's my my stance. If Kevin Johnson is any type of All Pro or Pro, I'll even say Pro Bowler. If he's any type of All Pro or Pro Bowler, I will buy a battle red Kevin Johnson jersey and wear it when I do the round table on the sauce. That you got that from me. I said on the sauce. I'm gonna say it here on my own channel. If Kevin Johnson is a All Pro first or second team or a Pro Bowler, even he ended up becoming a Pro Bowler through being on an alternate Pro Bowl case. Like, other Pro Bowlers went to the Super Bowl or got hurt, or took out, and they just throw him in. You know, sometimes they just throw in anybody to be in the Pro Bowl. I'll go out there and buy a battle red Kevin Johnson jersey and wear it when I do the round table on the sauce. That's how much I don't think that he is any good at all. But I do think I do think that the coup is better. He's a better fit with what this defense does. I think he's a better fit with how this defense plays. He's a better fit for that, and I like him. I like his attitude. He's another person that's from New Orleans. Like I like Louisiana. He might not be exactly from the NO. He might just be from Louisiana, the state. But I like his attitude. I like his style play. He plays aggressively. Kind of plays similar to the way AJ played. And I was high on AJ before AJ was even wearing 21. Back when he was wearing number 34, it was a nickel corner. And he only came in dime packages. Like, I was always a fan of AJ because AJ to me always seemed like he was making plays. He was always making plays. I don't know one play that Kevin Johnson really made. I don't. And then, like, Colvin, like I said, 4 years has 0 picks. And I think at one point in time he was a starter in Jacksonville. So 0 picks. I mean, AJ was in nickel packages coming in, made pick sixes. I think AJ has two pick sixes as a Texan. I know he has one against when we played the Eagles. I know he has at least one when we played the Eagles. And I know he had the pick to seal the deal, our first win in Indianapolis back in 2015. He had a pick then to seal the deal. And he was about to run it in for a touchdown, but Kareem Jackson was telling him, no, like, just fall down so we can end this game because we've never won in Indy before. Calm down. I know you want the TD, but hey, we want to clinch this win first. So, I do know that. I do know that he made plays, and that's why I've always was an AJ Bouye fan. But he's a Jacksonville Jaguar now, and I still root for him, even though he's a Jag. I mean, I still hope he becomes All Pros and Pro Bowl. He made the Pro Bowl this past year. I don't know if he was All Pro or not, but I still root for him and want him to do well because I want the Texans to sit back and really think like, damn, we were stupid for letting them walk away, especially going to a division rival. So hopefully that can happen with Colvin. Hopefully Colvin can come out there and become our AJ Bouye. Go out there and get Pro Bowls and All Pros and make Jacksonville Jaguars. And to be fair, from what I've heard from a lot of Jag fans, some Jag fans are upset that they let Colvin walk away. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit better. Once you hear other fan bases get mad that they player left, they not like, oh, good riddance, because that's how some Cardinal fans are about the Honey Badger. Y'all can have him. But sometimes, most times, fans of certain teams get salty because a lot of Texan fans were like, good riddance to AJ Bouye, and he was the second best corner in the league. But hey, and cornerback is a position that every year fluctuates. I mean, it went from Darrelle Revis to Richard Sherman to Patrick Peterson to Josh Norman to Xavier Rhodes. This past year it was Ramsey. Every year or every 2 years it seems like there's a different corner that's considered the best corner in the league. Corner, like, for some reason that position is not a position that holds standards. Like, like receivers, we've been saying for a while that it was Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, the best receivers. When Odell came on the scene, Odell got thrown up in that mix. Because people don't watch the Texans, that's the reason why people are just not hopping on the DeAndre Hopkins train. But normally when the top receiver stays the top receiver for a long period of time. Quarterbacks, we've been saying that Tom Brady's been the best quarterback for the past 10 years. Like, normally other positions top guys stay in that position, stay as the number one guy for a long period of time, except for corner. Corner is like every year, every 2 years, a different corner pops up, and league-wide, fan base-wide, is considered the best corner. So, maybe DeCool can come out of nowhere and be considered the best corner. Come out of nowhere. Come on, let's be real. Josh Norman came out of nowhere. Wasn't nobody talking about Josh Norman before that Panther Super Bowl run year. The year they made it to the Super Bowl. Really, nobody was out there talking about him. Richard Sherman was a 7th round pick. Like, so it don't have to be a first. It doesn't have to be. If I know Reeves was a 1st round pick, but you don't have to be a 1st round pick. I know Peterson was a 1st round pick. You don't have to be a 1st round pick. You can be a 6th, 7th round pick, and I think DeCool was 6. I think he was a 6th round pick. You can be 6th, 7th round pick, and come out there and ball out. So. But I do think the secondary is hungry. With this defense in general is hungry. I'm expecting big things out of Honey Badger, out of Mercilus, out of Clowney. I'm hopeful for Watt. I just really at the most want Watt to stay healthy, because even if he's not doing a lot as far as stat wise, he's going to do a lot scheme wise and draw attention to himself to free up Clowney and Mercilus, Covington, and Reader, and McKinney, and Cole, and Zach Cunningham, and like Honey Badger said, he's never played with a front like this. Like I said, I think this is a top 10. I think this is a top 10 linebacking core. Possibly, if Clowney and Mercilus stay healthy and both play All Pros, top 5, if not the top linebacking core. I know some people consider Clowney a defensive end, but with Racky plays most of his snaps standing up, so he's a linebacker. And then, it's just like Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack fluctuates and goes from linebacker to DN himself, but he's normally considered as being a linebacker. So, I'm expecting big things. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't, comment below. If you haven't clicked that bell, get more videos. I holla.